Hello, y'all. It's your girl, Sean LeRae, and I am back once again with Boss Talk. That's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars, and that's you. So I am happy to be back on a Wednesday. We made it again to Hump Day. We're halfway there, y'all. Just hang on in there. It's almost the weekend. And so, for those of us that work on the weekend, because sometimes I do, how do you get your self care? Like, when do you fit in what is somebody else's off day? Every like a lot of people are like off on, like I'm off on Wednesday. Today is my off day, but I still kind of work a little bit. I know. Don't judge me. I love what I do, and I get to hang out with y'all on my off day, so it makes it really super special for me. Now, I try to take the weekends off. But because I serve the people as a therapist or clinician, sometimes people, I work with people in the industry, so their schedules can be really crazy, and so I have to like let them get in where they fit in, right? So sometimes I do actually work on the weekends, and but the good news is that because I am self-employed and I am an entrepreneur, I get to take off whenever I feel like it. How you like me now? So sometimes I actually just decide I need a day and I take it. And that is the beauty of working for one's self. Now, I am a serial entrepreneur. That means that's all I pretty much have done my entire life is work for me in some capacity or another. I have started a ton of businesses. Some of them went straight into the toilet. Others of them stayed above water for a while and then sunk. And some of them stayed above water the entire time. Happy to say that. So I'm a jeweler, and I have Shimmies by Sean. And Shimmies by Sean has been a viable business since all right, y'all ready? 1989. That's when I started my line of handcrafted jewelry, Shimmies by Sean, and it has evolved. I know there are people who will call me or send me a photo of their first pieces from me, and I must admit, they still love them, and so do I. So that was something that was a gift, a hidden gift. So if you are an entrepreneur who, or if you work a day gig or like a 9 to 5 ish kind of gig, as well as you are an entrepreneur, you have your side hustle or your side passion. What is a gift that you discovered like out of nowhere, like you didn't know that you had it, but then you realized that it was a gift and that you could monetize it? I love that. Monetizing our gifts. So if you're out there in between sending out the link to our people to invite them to join us tonight, because you do not want to miss this, particularly if you are a business person, entrepreneur, or aspiring to be one, you want to be tuned in tonight, because this is the place to be for those kinds of people. And I think Boss Talk is all the time, because we talk about using your gifts and how you manage all of that. And so tell a friend who needs to know, any friends out there that you know that are have startups or are looking to start a business or looking to grow their business, who have a business idea, all of that, or have a thriving business, because you can never, ever have too much information on how to move your business to the next level or forward or whatever that might look like for you. So I am excited about tonight's show, but I want to hear from you guys out there. So somebody out there, I know you're out there, type in the chat a gift that you recently discovered that you had, that you didn't know before was a gift. Because a lot of times, we don't tap in to our gifts. We don't recognize them ourselves. And that's an important thing to do, because but then sometimes, we have to listen to others, because other people can see sometimes what we can't see. Are you in agreement with me on that? Because a lot of times we downplay our gifts. We don't give ourselves the credit that we deserve for being as amazing and awesome as we are. And so we kind of let our stuff kind of sit there, and it's time we recognize and put those things into work, and let them work for us, so we don't have to work so hard at everything that we do. And a lot of times it can be very what's the word, disheartening to work for someone else, not be recognized, and here you are sitting on your own gold mine of things that come out of you. So anybody brave enough to share about what they recently discovered? Or it doesn't have to be super recently, but something that you have discovered about yourself and the gifts that you have. Can you tell us? Don't be shy out there. Oh, it's getting kind of warm here in the studio. I wonder where my little fan is. Let me see. I have a bunch of them, and now I probably won't be able to find one anywhere. Here it is. Here we go. We have the pink one tonight. Oh, I'm having that glow. You know how it goes. How does it go? Men perspire. Let's see. How does it go? Horses sweat, men perspire, and ladies glow. So I'm glowing for y'all tonight. So I want to introduce you to my amazing guest tonight. If you read the show notes, it's about taking care of business, y'all. So if you're out there and you have somebody in your purview, in your circle of friends and loved ones who needs to learn how to take care of business, their business, whatever it is, I'm going to give you one more second. Go ahead and bring them in here. Send them the link. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share Boss Talk. So if you are watching on YouTube, look to the bottom on the right and just subscribe. If you're on Facebook, join and subscribe. And if you're on LinkedIn, subscribe. We'd love to have you keep coming back to join us on Boss Talk. So I want to tell you about my guest and get her out here so that you can meet her. Her name is Sonya K. Blake, and Sonya is the president and CEO of the Valley Economic Alliance based in Sherman Oaks, California. Now, in this capacity, she is leading a catalyst facilitating economic development in the San Fernando Valley region, a vital and burgeoning area comprising 5 cities, over 2 million, right? 2 million residents, and over 160,000 businesses. Ooh, that's exciting. The Alliance's activities include promoting business vitality, efficient mobility, workforce development, affordable housing, and other aspects of establishing and maintaining livable, sustainable, and equitable communities. Prior to Sonya's leadership of the Alliance, she served as Director of Community Business in Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti's Office of Economic Development. Sonya has also served as CEO of the National Association of Women Business Owners, Los Angeles, Director of the Office of Small Business Advocacy in the office of former Governor Gray Davis. She has also been the Assistant Dean of USC Roski School of Fine Arts and Director of Corporate Giving at the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. Sonya graduated from, are you ready, Yale University and the UCLA Anderson Graduate School of Management. She has lived in Valley Glen since 2003 with her husband, Stephen, and has 3 school-age children. So, Boss Talkers, without another word from me, please welcome Sonya Blake.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, Sean Lorraine. What a wonderful, warm welcome. I appreciate it.
Yes, of course. And thank you. I'm so excited to have you on tonight. It's been a long time coming. We've talked about it, and now we have finally made it happen.
Today's the day. I'm excited.
Yes, indeed. So tell us, Sonya, you have done quite a bit and a lot of exciting and interesting things in your career.
Mm.
So tell us, darling, so how did you get started in this area? Dr. Thiele says, wow.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Is it wow worthy? Okay, it's wow
Yes, it is
worthy. Thank you very
definitely
much.
wow worthy, darling.
Thank you very much. I'm like, wow, look at God, because I don't know how all this happened, but it happened. And so I'll tell you how it got started. It started with my first job. You will never, Sean Lorraine, in a million years, you'll never guess what was my first job. My first job as a 15-year-old growing up in Connecticut, the tiny little state of Connecticut. They say, better yet, Connecticut. I don't know if it's true because I love California. It was too cold
Right.
over there. But
Ooh, I know.
anyway, that's what they say. So I grew up in Connecticut, and my first job was picking tobacco on a tobacco farm in Connecticut.
Get
I
out of
I
here.
am so serious, right? What a change from like the tobacco field to like the ivy, like covered walls of Yale University. But that's
Yes,
my journey. That was
you
my
are
journey.
someone who could definitely say, how you like me now.
I know, right? I know. But it's funny. It was like all of the teenagers in my small town where I grew up all worked tobacco, because Connecticut, believe it or not, is a big tobacco growing state. And so I was there though, because it was just a summer job, a summer gig, like a way for me to make some good money before I could really get into an office job at 16 years old. And all the kids in my neighborhood did that same job. So it wasn't like it was an imperative, like something I absolutely had to do. Now, my parents came from very humble means. My father was a farm worker, and he was a migrant farm worker from Jamaica, Yaman.
Ah,
And
yeah.
so he came through Ellis Island, and he found his way, and he traveled from farm to farm. Before I was born, he was a farm worker. And when I was growing up, he was a factory worker, so very blue collar worker. But I was on the farm just because it was a summer gig with all my friends who, were also working there to like earn enough to buy a bike, right?
Yeah,
But
you
when
go.
I got there, I met a variety of people. There were the kids, mostly Caucasian kids. I was one of very few Black families growing up in a very small town in Connecticut. And so I was, all the kids from my school were in one side of the farm, so to speak. And then there were all the Black and mostly Puerto Rican workers who were farm workers who were there time after time after time, season after season. They weren't just there in the summer to buy a bike. They were there because that was their option, right? That was their one option. So what I learned from that experience was that I'm a bridge. I'm a bridge between the haves and the have-nots. And I can speak the languages of both communities, and I can be the one to identify the resources and bring the resources to where they can do the most good to help bridge the wealth gap. So from that first moment, my first job, that's what I've been doing ever since.
Sonya, I love that. I never knew that story. So thank you for sharing that. That is amazing. And at such a young age, you saw this.
Well, the pieces of the puzzle didn't fully fall into place for me until later. You know how it is when you hit 40, the big 40, and then you like get all introspective, and then you like figure out, oh, that's why I've been through that. And so, I can't take credit for knowing it from the beginning, but it did become clear at some point, and I did catch it. So I get credit for that.
Well, so first of all, you said one thing. You said when you become 40, and I always tell you this. I am just blown away because I think of you. I look at you and I think she's 12 years old.
Oh my gosh, I feel like 12 years old.
You look so young and beautiful and vibrant. I love it. I love it.
Well, you know my energy is young. I got young energy.
Me too, girl. Me too, girl. Because I turned 63 in February.
Hey,
so,
happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Off of that. Yes, indeed. Awesome. Thank you.
So good.
Listen, so when did you come to California?
I came to California 2 days after college graduation on vacation. And I was visiting a friend, and I loved it so much. I didn't go back. I just stayed. I stayed. So I stayed. I love the sunshine, and I love the weather, and I love the ocean. I was an art history major undergraduate, believe it or not, and I was a photography minor. So I really appreciate beauty and landscape. And this is the place. So I decided very quickly I wanted to stay. And after about 3 weeks of visiting, I started to send out my resume because I had just graduated. And I sent out 4 letters and 1 came back, and I got a great job as a corporate art intern for Security Pacific Bank.
What?
And just like, do you remember, was that character from A Different World? The character from A Different World. She was a corporate art buyer.
Was that Cree?
Was that it? What was that? I wish I could remember. I can see her face. Ashley or something?
Ashley.
I have to look it up. There was a character.
Was that Jasmine Guy's character?
Yes, Jasmine Guy's.
Whitley.
Yes. Okay. So Whitley's story in corporate buying was based on my life, because when I came out to California, I met one of the writers of the show, and she was so fascinated that someone could get paid for buying art for a bank.
Really? Oh my God, that's so cool. I'm learning so much about you. And I
know, right? There's like a whole history before we
that
but anyway.
Awesome.
So yeah, so I was a corporate art, I helped the corporate art buyer, and I helped curate exhibitions in the lobbies of the Security Pacific Bank buildings. They were later bought by Bank of America, so their collection became part of B of A's collection. But it was a fantastic first job that I just they created for me because I wrote them a letter saying, you need to hire me.
Sonya, that is fantastic. Now listen, y'all, I don't want to hear out there, young folks, I can't find a job.
Hello.
Because this woman here just told you that you can create your own job and you can name it. And I love that. Yeah. But so this is a good time for me to transition into. So those of you who are Boss Talkers know that my glasses are my signature. And I am learning that I cannot keep them on throughout the whole show because y'all can't see my face. So what I'm thinking is that we view things through different lenses, because when I look at me, I just love these glasses and I want to keep them on. But we're going to look at things through different lenses. Now, there's the lens that you can move to a city and never get hired, never get a job, or that it will be so hard. But there's another perspective. So if we look through different lenses, we can see things clearly when we listen to what Sonya just said. And that is, you write your own ticket. I love that, Sonya. That is fantastic. Now, and it seems, just looking at the trajectory of your career, from going back and looking at where you've landed, it seems like you've done that always. Because you have had some amazing jobs.
I have enjoyed it.
When we met, what were you doing?
Goodness. So when we met way back then,
yeah.
I was actually running a nonprofit to help business owners in South LA establish new businesses. And so that's what I was doing at the time. The through line of my career, I think, has really been finding a way. I mean, haves and have-nots, like I mentioned before, but more so than that, it's the creative people, whether they were artists or business owners, that entrepreneurial spirit, and connecting it with the execution, how to monetize your creativity. You know, that word monetize comes up again. So when we met, I was running this nonprofit, and my mom-in-law had fallen ill. And so I had taken over the nonprofit that she established and focused in on entrepreneurship in South LA as a way of fostering and promoting financial self-sufficiency in that part of the city. So that's what I was doing when we first met.
Oh my goodness. And we met at one of the Black Women's Network meetings. Yes. And I was a new board member at the time. I was the recording secretary. I feel like it was my first meeting. I feel like it was my first meeting in that role of like the season, you know, of the new year or something. So you were doing that. And now, were you married? Well, yes, because we haven't known each other, I don't think, as long as you've been married.
Right. Yes, I was married at that part. No kids then, but.
Okay. So how did you meet your honey bear?
Oh my goodness. We met through a mutual friend. Do you remember Denzel Washington had a restaurant on Melrose called Georgia's? Yes, that's where Stephen and I met. So we had a mutual friend, this wonderful jazz musician, Mark Shelby, who plays in a group called Black Note. And turns out, so when I was at UCLA, Mark had come to perform concerts at UCLA Royce Hall. And I was on the team of art students who helped curate the music that came through. So Branford Marsalis and Black Note came through anyway. So met Mark, and it turns out he and Stephen were best friends. So when I went to meet Mark at the restaurant, I saw who he was sitting with. And I saw those eyes, and it was like, that was it, Jack. That was it. It was definitely at first sight. And so
I love it.
Hanging out. And then, but we had an interesting journey. So we dated for a short time, and we were both young and silly, and we broke up. And then when he came back, and he was a rap music cinematographer way back in the day. Wow. And so he did all these videos, Snoop Dogg, Wu-Tang Clan, all these folks. He did an awesome video for Mama Said Knock You Out way back when.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And he's just consummate professional. Anyway, he had a whole transformation, a spiritual awakening, and decided that he wanted to do only work that was uplifting to men and women, people of society, and that gave glory to God. And so he became a Christian. And when he shared the faith with me, I became a Christian. And then we came back together as a couple and then got married.
I love this story. That's so beautiful. Look at God.
Amazing. Like this wonderful dance, timing is so key, right? Who you are in a moment in time when you find yourself in certain circumstances, you can experience life in a completely different way if you're in a different place in your journey, whether it's spiritually or in your physical body or emotionally or intellectually. If you're ready for something, it comes to you, right? So it's been a wonderful journey, almost 22 years. In July, it'll be 22 years married.
Ooh,
hello, hey.
22 years and 3 babies later, right?
Right? Exactly.
So tell us about your children. You have 3 children.
Yes.
And 2 pregnancies though, huh? So
right. I got twins. Yeah. I start throwing them out, churning them out 2 at a time and stuff. It goes faster that way.
I love it.
So I had my son first, and he's 10, almost 11 now. And he's just a joy, such a lover of sports and games and playful. He's my little comedian and sweet, sweet, precious boy. And then I have my twin girls who are just sweet sugar cookies also. One is very much into art, and she's an artist, beautiful drawings. And the other one is taken after her daddy as a filmmaker and making short films and stuff at 8 years old. They're almost 9.
I love it. I love that so much. I used to have a client who was a young woman who liked to do stop animation, I think it's called.
Yes.
And at a young age, she was doing all of this. And it's amazing how these kids discover what they want to do, especially in the artistic world. And they can do it so with amazing technology that we that they've been blessed to know from birth, right?
Something.
One of the boss talkers saying, "Oh, Nisi, happy belated birthday, darling." She says, "Love that. How to monetize your creativity." Absolutely.
Exactly.
That is the way to go.
And we're teaching the kids, right? We're teaching the kids to start a little business.
Yes, absolutely. And this is Gigi. Gigi is a Boss Talk regular, and she says, "Hi, Sonya," and she welcomes you.
Thank you.
And Girls Like Me Global, what a story. So amazing when we allow him to write it. Absolutely. I so love that. I didn't know that part about you either. So this is so fun for me because I get to learn more and more about my guests.
It is fun.
So that's fantastic. Yes, Otissa Nisi says, thank you. Absolutely. And please give a great big old warm hug to my newly inducted into a fraternity nephew over there. Is he a Noop? Kappa? Is he a Kappa? Because I think that's what Mama told me. File says, thank you for sharing such a beautiful story. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Sonya, you went from, let's see. So you went from Yale to California to buying art to bridging the gap between entrepreneurs and their resources.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's kind of what you're doing to this day. So where
Mm.
did you move next? Because I know that you gave me a call and you said, I'm in this great position and I'd love to partner with Black Women's Network. I said, Sonya, what are you doing? And you said, I am working in the mayor's office.
Exactly. It's like, oh, where's she now? Yes, indeed. What a
Yes.
journey. Yeah. Well, I from the time, earlier, I had taken off some time out of the workforce because when I worked for Governor Gray Davis, there was a lot going on, and the end of the administration was, it was crazy. The governor was recalled. It was a whole, thing that happened, and then my mom-in-law had a stroke. So I spent several years out of the workforce and just caring for my family and serving at my church and helping to create new programs there for foster kids, which was a passion of mine. And so when it became time for me to look into getting back into the workforce, it's like, we think about, another idea about like creating your opportunities, right? Another potential obstacle, like, you've been out of the workforce a while, your resume has this gaping, gap, a decade where you have not been in the workforce. Will I come back at the same salary? Will I have to take a pay cut? Will I come back at all? All these questions can come up and we can doubt ourselves. But thankfully, I just started to look at how can I leverage my skills and package them in such a way that I can show not only what I've done, but the best is yet to come. And what I'm about to do in this position, if I get this job, is this, this, and this. You always go into an interview with a proposal. In the first 90 days, I know this is what the issues are here. In the first 90 days, I'm going to do this, this, and this. So hire me. So I was able to land this fantastic job as a community business director for Mayor Garcetti. And of course, reaching out to Black Women's Network was a natural, right? Because part of the job in this purview of the mayor, kind of helming small business development and policy for the whole city, it's got to happen through collaboration. You've got to be collaborative. You've got to be a partner. You've got to have the subject matter expertise to understand what businesses need in order to grow and thrive. And then you have to be able to connect the dots to the resources. So indeed, that was the perfect, kind of next step and trajectory. Now, what I'm doing now is a little bit different in that it's broader. So it's not only the business development, and we do plenty of that. Yeah. It's also the economic development of our whole 5-city region. So it's looking at the real estate and the underutilized properties and the opportunity zones and the vacant parcels of land that are just laying fallow and not being used in their highest best use, right? So we help to promote with developers to come in and build housing for our workforce, come in and build buildings that businesses can move into and thrive and create jobs and build our economy that way. So in the mayor's office, it was really very much about small business. Now in the Valley, it's about business and real estate, whole communities and economies that make sense.
That is so incredible. I'm just so proud of you. I just have to stop and say it. And like Camelia said, very impressive indeed. She says, hello, ladies. Good evening. Hello, darling.
Hello,
now,
hello.
Camelia is from Black Women's Network, and she's on our board. And hey, Bobby Douglas. Nice to see you, my friend. And Bobby is an East Coaster as well.
East Side.
He's from New Jersey.
Oh, all right now. Okay, great.
Yes. And Camelia says, I'm a real estate broker, very interested in what you just said. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Sonya, let's go back to the mayor's office, because one of the things that I found most impressive was that we got to do that Women's Entrepreneur Day, LA WED, it was called.
Yes.
And now, was that your initiative?
Yes, that was under my purview to help the mayor to create this, this program. So it was a part of a global movement and continues to be part of the global movement. And so when the mayor came into office, he established Los Angeles and Women's Entrepreneurship Day as November 19th in the city of Los Angeles, which mirrored what's happening in a lot of other countries around the world to recognize the exemplary achievements of women entrepreneurs. And so since he had decided to do that, when I came on board, I helped to build that into a citywide celebration at City Hall, which brought in 1,000 women on that day to join together in celebration. And not only celebration, not only feel good, right, to inspire and to equip and empower. So we had 50 exhibitors with the tools and resources and information that business owners need in order to connect with capital, business planning, procurement, exporting, all of these tools, that are mysterious and can be confusing. We demystify them by connecting people with the information and the contacts and mentors who will help them after that one day, not about just that one day, to take it into the future.
Yes, that was an amazing day. First of all, we had the little breakfast reception in the mayor's office, which was lovely. And then what I also loved was that we got to come down the stairs of City Hall in a group like we were some bad mamma jammas coming down the stairs, and we stood there, and it was really a very, very kind of emotional moment, to be a part of something that great, because BWN was part of the planning committees, and to meet the other women who were also involved, like-minded women, multicultural, and all of that. It was such a beautiful thing that you guys put together there, and I just felt so proud to know you and know that you were at the helm of that, and that you thought of us, and always have thought of us to be a part of that. But to see what I remember, and again, the small world nature of our great big old world in great big old California, because Jessica was one of the women who got to speak, and who was a recipient of a financial award, I think, from what is it, Founder?
Yeah, Found LA.
Found LA, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, and Jessica actually was a part of the membership where my office was in the house in
Great.
And so I had sat down with her, and she helped me do a little bit of branding and getting to know her. And then she had these little events that I got to speak at once, right there in our office space, because it was a house with a beautiful backyard, and she had an event there. And then to turn around and find out that she was being honored there that same day, we found out. And so it was really great. I mean, we met the woman who had created that thing that we hang on our desks for our purses.
Yes, the Looks Link. Kalika Yap invented the Looks Link. Yes, the little hook that keeps your purse off the floor. Yes.
And I had no idea, but I had one in my purse that day.
Yes, fantastic women. And Jane Werwind, who founded Dermalogica, is the one who founded Found LA, and she was there and told her story. And then Jessica, as you mentioned, Jessica Reveles, who has an amazing story from homelessness to six-figure income entrepreneur, thanks to the technical support that she received. And she talks about that wonderful journey. And the mayor had put together a program for people experiencing homelessness to reach financial self-sufficiency through entrepreneurship. And that was one of the programs, in addition to the women's program, that I had the privilege of working on for him. And we were able to help some people to connect the dots, like Jessica. So really beautiful, the stories. It's incredible. You never know by looking at someone what they've been through, right?
Absolutely. And the other woman was the empanada queen.
Oh,
and
yes.
And she made her empanadas for the breakfast that morning. So that was lovely.
So we got good. World Empanadas in Burbank, women owned. Yes, great. It was a great lineup.
Beautiful gift. And I think we did it the following year as well. Yes. And then, well, first let's check in with the people out here. Let's see who's talking. Dr. Thiele says, love that. Always go into an interview with a proposal. I know that was like for free, y'all. I hope you wrote that down. So many applicants do not take the time to even learn about the business and how they can support goals of the business. Absolutely. And it's so important. And now, as a person who hires, I cannot tell you how much this kind of preparation impresses me. And even, I mean, I have stories. I am not really great at hiring, apparently. I've had my challenges, but I have.
We all have. It's natural.
Yes, but I have learned so much in this space, and I'm so grateful. And for some of the resources that we will get more into as we continue, because I want to talk more about the resources from the Valley Economic Alliance. Hey, Alan. Alan says, Dr. Thatch, can I join your team at the mayor's office in developing outreach with nonprofit organizations, develop job opportunities, and teaching homeownership in a housing market? So that's a question, but I think that I don't know whether you're talking to Dr. Thiele Thatch, who's in the chat over there, or if you are talking to Sonya Blake, who is my guest. So clarify, and this is, Boss Talk will do some networking and hook some folks up. So love you, Alan. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, William Seals, Mr. Bill. How are you? Thanks for tuning in tonight. Back at you. So Rwanda, hello, sis. Good evening. Great information. Thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge. Absolutely. This is what I love about Boss Talk. Hey, Melanie, how are you, darling? Thank you for tuning in. So Thiele, continue us on this journey, because you were in the mayor's office for how many years?
It was about 3 years.
Okay.
The administration.
Yeah. So then, yes.
Right until the pandemic.
That's
right around when the mayor declared the emergency and everything went crazy. And then I needed to be closer to home with my 3 children, distance learning. And, that traveling to City Hall an hour each way just wasn't really working anymore. And I wanted to be closer to my kiddos, and the world went crazy. You remember that?
Yes, indeed. And let me tell you, so when you're talking about that whole day, that whole pandemic situation, I have to shout out my dear friend Sydney Wayne Davis, who celebrated her birthday on Monday, which also marks the day that we all came home. That was March 13th, 2020. And it was her birthday celebration. And Chantal and I and our husbands, William and John, we had a double date, because we were like, I came home from work at 10:30. I had one client in person. And then, the hype was get out of there, get home, so I ran to Trader Joe's and I got a bunch of stuff and I went home. And when I got home, we realized today is Sydney's birthday, and she's celebrating in Culver City at this, karaoke spot. And we were like, ooh, we shouldn't go. And then we were like, are you kidding? It's Sid. We got to go. So me and Chantel got the boys together. Chantel and John picked us up. We drove over. On the way over, on the radio,
oh my goodness,
Mayor Garcetti and the governor declared the state of emergency.
Oh my goodness.
And when we arrived at the club, at the karaoke spot, they had a drink that they were advertising called Declared State of Emergency. and they used those emergency packages. They used the little packets to make the drink. And I was like, America, this is capitalism at its very, very best.
Right? Creative. Wow.
But then we all came home, and we were home for quite a while. And so it was a transition for all of us, and for you indeed too, as you transitioned back to the Valley for your work. Mm-hmm. So by the way, Alan said he was talking to you, Sonya. So I will connect you guys, and you can take it from there. Alan is a wealth of resources as well. And hello, Pamela from Baldwin Hills. Hello, darling. Thank you for tuning in tonight. It's good to see you on. So Pamela is also an entrepreneur, a creative entrepreneur. She is a wonderful jeweler. And I have a couple of her pieces. And I might as well shout out other entrepreneurs as I speak about jewelry. These beautiful pieces here are from Simone Smith collection. I love Simone, and these are my first pair. And now I have about 4 pair. And so She is amazing. If you go to SimoneSmith.com, you will not be disappointed. And also, right now, she has a new pair that come from her Mary J. Blige collection, and they are leopard babies. So, those are my next pair.
Of course. Beautiful.
Absolutely. Pamela says, yes, great information indeed. Of course. So, Sonya, you're back in the Valley. And now what?
Yes. Well, so after the state of emergency was declared and the Safer at Home, and I come over to the Alliance, I happened to meet a couple of the board members, and it was just a great fit. And so I came over to run the Alliance. Now, the Alliance is an organization that's been around for almost 30 years. So it's a long-standing, reputable company in the Valley that was founded right after the Northridge earthquake, actually, to help the community come together and rebuild. So it was poetic and, very appropriate that we were a main agency, an agent of recovery for a lot of companies and a lot of residents, in this time of emergency. So I mentioned a little bit about the Alliance before, community and economic development organization with our economic development programs, our workforce programs. So during the pandemic, we were doing small business coaching and consulting. We were helping connect people to grants and helping them apply for the PPP and the EIDL, other sort of grants and funding, helping job seekers to connect with employers and with training if they wanted to go on for training, but connecting with jobs and doing job fairs and connecting our local community colleges with people who were, ready to do some new things in their lives and really leverage that time of upheaval and change. We were really focusing in on livable communities and public safety and healthcare and communicating a lot of the different regulations, the changing regulations, and trying to keep our thumb on the pulse of what was happening so that our business owners could take care of their employees, take care of themselves, just survive through the pandemic. And then once that did pass to a certain extent, to begin those steps toward recovery. And so that's what I've been working on for the past 3 years.
You are one busy sister, but you make it look so easy. I promise you do. It amazes me every time.
Oh my gosh.
So here's a familiar somebody. Gwendolyn Goodman. Hey, Gigi, how are you, sis? Sonya, delighted as always to see you here and about the business and financial resources you and your organization provide to the community. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you, Gwen. Great to see you.
Yes. So Sonya, I can't tell you how it just blows my mind what goes on in the Alliance. And so I recently, what month was that? Was that November of last year? When we did I got to keynote.
For our women's entrepreneurship, celebration.
Entrepreneur Day,
November.
Yes.
It was great. We were so inspired.
Thank you for that opportunity.
Yes.
So you're still out here really providing resources. I know Black Women's Network, we are sisters in service to enhance resource sharing, and that acronym is SISTERS. But you are out here just helping communities of multicultural communities, multi-diverse communities in multi-diverse areas. And so I really love your commitment to this kind of excellence. It's so beautiful. So I know that one of the things that I can remember that I was introduced to at one of the Alliance connections that I made, I think I attended one of the seminars or webinars that you guys had, and we were introduced to a lot of different funders and really learned about different ways that funding doesn't always look like somebody cutting a check, but that there are other ways that you can get funding, other ways that you can get help with your business. And I remember one of them being, can you tell us about the employment resources, like for helping you to find employees for your organizations? Talk about that a little bit, if you will.
Yes, absolutely. So many resources. So, in particular, on the employee side, so there are a couple things going on throughout our region. There are a series of work source centers or American job centers that help find candidates for a particular position. So they kind of serve like an employment agency or an employment agency for free. And the employer, it's free to the employer. So, you know, you can go with a commercial employment agency, which is great. And there's this wonderful free resource where you can source all of these candidates and they can be pre-screened and you can sift through their resumes and you can get some candidates and they can even do interviews for you and then send you candidates that fit the bill. Not only can they help with the recruiting, but they also can help with the funding. So there are a couple of sources of fundings. You know, there are all these little abbreviations, right, in the government alphabet soup. So there's OJT and ETP. So OJT is on the job training.
Okay.
And so if you hire, there are incentives for hiring people from particular demographics that the government really wants to give additional support to move into the workforce. Mm-hmm. So there are folks, and you can get subsidized. Half of their wages can be subsidized for a number of months, maybe 4 to 6 months, and maybe even some of their startup costs, like their transportation, like hopping on the bus, or a clothing allowance, a stipend, and things like that. Maybe they'll help them with childcare, so that when they're getting in, if you take the chance on them, then you'll get on the job training funding to get them up to speed, and they'll get as much support as possible. And then there's ETP, which is Employment Training Panel, and that is a source of funding for employers to train their incumbent workforce. So people who are already working for you, if you want to train them and get them leadership skills, or you want to train them in a certain certification, then there's funding that's available to help people upskill, because the government knows that when you upskill people, they get promoted, and then they open up the entry-level positions where people can then move into. And so it kind of helps keep everyone moving.
Wow, that's a way. Oh, wow, I never thought of it in that way.
Yeah,
That is so good. So
it's a powerful ecosystem. So you got to, like, get all the pieces into place and then all of the funding. But a lot of business owners don't know that the resources are there. A third source of funding, you could say a source of funding, is tax credits for hiring, particular people. And so, you've already paid the taxes, or you're about to owe the taxes, but you can get a credit dollar for dollar and offset your tax liability with the employee retention tax credit, which is really big now. And that was started during the pandemic, but very few people knew about it and how to do the paperwork. So there's a new round of consultants. You'll get these emails and everybody's like, I can help you do that. And you have to be careful, who you work with. We vetted some and found ones to work with that have a good, like a reasonable cost. They get paid from a fee, a portion of whatever they recover for you in taxes that you no longer have to pay. So it's money you wouldn't have seen anyway, but they'll take a cut. But that's another avenue, the tax credits, and knowing who to talk to help you, because accountants don't usually know tax credits. They'll do your taxes for you, but they're not really in the business of thinking about how to get like money back. So you kind of need to have some specialists on that. And then there's this last thing I'll say is the homeless hiring tax credit. Here's another one a lot of businesses are not taking advantage of. People are kind of looking around, scratching their head, like, how do I even, do this? And so, but if you hire people who were formerly experiencing homelessness, you can conceivably get a quite sizable tax credit. So these are some things. So what we do at the Alliance is we compile our network of experts and specialists on these various topics. So we know exactly who to send you to take a meeting, see if it's worth it to you to move forward.
I love that. That is so good. So listen, out there, if you are a small business or a great big old giant business, either way, and if you're experiencing some trouble getting your business off the ground, if you are wondering about some of these tax credits and ways that you can get your monies back, please put a comment or a question in the chat here so that Sonya can address it tonight. Because listen, y'all, this is a wealth of information. This woman, it has a wealth of information, and this is an opportunity to tap into it. And now that now if you're out there and you have never heard of the Valley Economic Alliance. Put that in the chat. Let's keep it real. Anybody out there who was not even aware that such a resource existed in the San Fernando Valley? Gwendolyn says Sonya is a champion of resource sharing in the Valley, LA, and beyond. Absolutely true. Camellia said, I need that ASAP for my office, office for real estate and insurance, 100%. And Camellia said, not aware in the Valley. Okay. Girls Like Me Global said, so incredible. And I will 100% concur with that. This is incredible information. So Sonya, what is one of the companies, because I hear of one on the radio all the time, I think it's ERC or something like that. They have somehow gotten a hold of my email and they have sent me information about this tax credit situation. So are you allowed to say one of the ones that you know that is reputable to you?
Sure. Yeah, there's one called Subsidy, SUBCITY, one word, Subsidy. And we partner with them. And I like them because the founder, Gil Gonzalez, he used to work at the governor's office of business, and he's worked in various governmental offices. He really understands businesses, and they have a turnkey seamless intake process where you just put in some of your information. The key is if you've experienced a downturn in a certain quarter of your fiscal year compared to that same quarter the prior year. So if you have a quarter where your revenues were down a certain amount, and Gil could tell you all the details of that, then you could conceivably qualify. So it's simple to know if you're eligible, first of all. And then from there, they kind of take you by the hand and help you to find your way. We actually had a webinar, because we do these educational webinars. We had one that we just did with Gil. And so that's a good kind of primer if you just want to kind of get to know what that's all about.
Yeah, thank you. That's good. So Pamela, not aware. She wasn't aware. Nisi was aware. Okay, sis, good. What did Thiele say? Amazing. I'm trying to hire right now. Where would you recommend I start tomorrow? I love it. Come on, girl, get on it. Don't waste no time. You ain't no plant. Don't let no grass grow under your feet. That's what my mama used to say. Goodness. Okay, so help her out, Sonya. Where can Dr. Thiele start tomorrow?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. So if it's on the tax credits that you're talking about, then I have a link that I can share with Sean LeRae and your team. And you can, once you kind of look at that link, you'll be able to see the contact information for Subsidy and, learn more about the tax credits. Now, on all of the other things that I was talking about, the key, I think, is to enroll in our free business assistance program, because when you do that, we're able to take an overall look at your business and see where you are, and then see where you want to go and plot a course there. And there may be a variety of resources, right? You may need capital to hire the employees, or you may be eligible to do a procurement or a contract with the County of LA. And that'll give you the contract that you can take to the lender, who will say, oh, they have this contract. She has a contract. So I'll go ahead and give her the loan to get her to hire the people. So it kind of all works together for your company. Right? So you enroll in our business assistance program at thevalley.net/assistance. And then we help kind of create a business service plan for you after we do the in-depth assessment. And then we connect you with the different referral partners that are going to make sense for you, kind of a customized program. Okay. And again, it's completely free. It's all paid for by the sponsors of the Alliance, who care about growing our economy and know that we have to invest in our small businesses.
I love it. Nisi says, I believe I visited the office in Van Nuys in the building next to the gas station.
Yes, there is like a 7-Eleven and a gas station right over there, and Burger King over there. And Sherman Oaks.
And the lamplighter down the road.
Right.
And it's also across from the Westcom Credit Union, which is where I met William Joseph Brinkley.
Right. He's a hot area of Sherman Oaks over here with a lot of things
Yeah, we're
going
right
on.
there.
We actually have meetups at our office now. We call it our business center, and we're here in this wonderful building on the second floor, and we do these in-person meetups where we have these small groups, and some of our mentors come together and help business owners kind of advance on what's covered in our webinars one-on-one, and kind of talk through. For people who like that personal touch and want to be, in person, we have that going on too, right here at the office that you remember.
I love it. It's enjoyable listening to highly intelligent women. I'm loving this energy. Well, thank you, Mr. Bill.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Indeed. Let's see. What else do we have here? So here is the link to now this is the tax credit one, right?
Yes, that is the replay of the webinar and the slides. So you can see Gil, you can learn more about this program, see if it's something that you want to do. If you reach out directly to him, definitely tell him that the Alliance sent you, the Valley Economic Alliance sent you. If you want to have an overall more comprehensive look at your business and what resources you might be eligible for, then you would enroll in our business assistance program, and we can help you figure all that out.
Yes. Now that's the Valley.net/assistance, right?
Exactly.
I have that one here. Let me put that link out for you too. And I just saw a really good question. I'm going to put it up from Camellia, but I'm going to get this up there first. Now so that one is the information about tax credits and all of that. This is the Valley.net/assistance is to get information about how to get assistance. So that makes sense. So definitely take a picture of these links if you're not a fast typer or a fast copier paster.
Exactly. And that assistance link is specifically, there's a link there to enroll in our business assistance program for the overall, like a comprehensive in-depth analysis of your business, and then a business service plan to help you kind of figure out all the different resources you might be eligible for.
Okay.
And yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So now Camellia is asking, and I know the answer to this, so you can tell her, do you need to be in the Valley, or is Los Angeles area okay too?
Oh my goodness, Los Angeles area is more than okay. You do not need to be in the Valley. About 75% of the companies we help in our business assistance program are based in the Valley, but we help folks from all over because we're all connected and you are a part of our network if you're hearing my voice. So we're here to help.
I love it. I love it. And one thing that people don't recognize or realize is the Valley is part of Los Angeles. We are part of the County of Los Angeles and Los Angeles City. Yes. So that is something that is good to know. Dr. Thiele says, thank you. I'm enrolled. I've used the free marketing assistance and now I need to take it to the next level. Great info. Absolutely.
Oh, wonderful. So happy to be partnering with you on that.
And Pamela says, thank you. Absolutely. It is my pleasure. Now, Nisi wants to know, is this affiliated with SCORE?
Oh, yeah, good question. We are not affiliated with SCORE. SCORE is a great organization. It's a government entity that has mentors in all kinds of subject areas and has great webinars also. We love to talk about SCORE and refer people if they're interested in specific things that they're working on. Definitely a great resource. There's also a system that the city, so SCORE is a federal program, a system of mentors, which is kind of connected with the SBDCs, Small Business Development Centers. Those are federally funded business centers all around the nation. The city of Los Angeles also has business source centers. So there's another set of 9 business sources that are based, and there are 3 in the Valley. There are no SBDCs in the Valley, but there are 3 business sources. So our organization is separate and distinct from all of those, and we provide the business assistance, somewhat similar programs, but ours are distinct in that we really connect it to the overall regional development and connecting people with real estate. If you're looking to expand your real estate footprint, for example, we're doing the webinars and programs and in-person meetups that businesses in the San Fernando Valley region are particularly interested in. And then anyone else who may want to come can be a part of that. Some of the distinctives about the Valley are our diverse industries. So we have a huge component of the entertainment industry here. So a lot of companies in entertainment industries, studios, the whole supply chain, helping to keep the economy of entertainment going in the Valley. We also have a huge manufacturing component. You know, the Los Angeles region is a huge hub of manufacturers nationwide, largely in part because of the San Fernando Valley and Chatsworth and a lot of our aerospace manufacturing companies and all of the medical device manufacturers around Medtronic and all these. So a lot, when there's a major corporation, oftentimes the whole supply chains, all their suppliers tend to kind of conglomerate so they can save on the cost of transportation and transporting their products and services. So they want to be close to their clients. So we have a wonderful hub of manufacturers. And then healthcare. We're huge in healthcare. And so because of these three industries and so many more, there tends to be certain programs and certain verticals, I guess you could say, industries where we specialize.
I love it. You are such a wealth of information. I love it. I love it. So Camellia says the organization Gil Gonzalez's resources subsidy, right?
Yes, SUBCITY, subsidy, one word.
And there's that link again, Camellia. Right? Am I right? That is the link.
Yes. That link is the link to the replay from the webinar he just did at the Alliance. And he's one of our partners, and he is supportive of the Alliance, and we're working with him also to help us to access whatever credits we might be able to. So
yes,
we really like working
call
with
him Tamara.
Great.
Yes. So Sonya, I have a question. So there are, there's so many business opportunities, and you just mentioned some of the ones that are right here in the Valley that we may not have been aware of. But one of the things that just came to mind for me is, I'm trying to get this. There we go. One of the things that just came to mind for me, does the Alliance have a listing of like areas that might need attention in the Valley for those who are looking for a business that might be a viable business in the Valley or the surrounding areas, but they just don't know like what they really want to do or where there's a need? So is there such a listing or some kind of resource around that?
Ooh, do you mean a listing of businesses that provide certain needs, like a kind of a business directory, you mean? Or do you mean like a resource directory?
Well, what came to mind is, say I'm a person, maybe I just retired, but I have a lot of energy left. Like that's going to be the case whenever I retire. So I have a lot of energy left, and I want to avail myself of some kind of business, but I don't know what's needed. So is there some kind of network or resource that says, we're low in businesses of this kind, this might be a good one to undertake? Or there's an overabundance of this business and not necessarily a good idea. So that kind of thing.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. What a great idea. I don't know of a resource that's exactly that. But I do know the San Fernando Valley Business Journal covers a lot because of like the business community and covers a lot of trends. And so you can see there are some really great articles in that publication. And they do this great resource called the Book of Lists. And they have lists of, who are the top 100 private employers and the top 50, real estate, companies and things like that. And they really report on a lot of those trends. So what we do is when a resource like that, doesn't exist, we just shake some trees in our network. So we'll call the publisher of the Business Journal and we'll say, hey, this is what we need to know. And what do you know about this? And then we'll reach out to the president of LA Valley College. We have a board of directors of 83 Valley influencers and leaders. And so everyone's in our network so that we can say, and even our business advisor, Brett Dickstein, may know a lot of that information. So when something doesn't exist, because it's interesting, you know, when you think about LA County, there are a lot of resources and publications and directories, but it's on the LA County level. It's not specifically to our region. So that could be really very useful for what you're talking about if something like that is available on the county level. But when you're drilling down to the valley itself, a lot of times you have to just kind of pull together the information from resources anecdotally, because it's not like an official, you know, district sometimes where you can get the data readily and easily. So we kind of have to work it and massage it.
Yeah, I love what you said, that remember that LA Valley College is a great resource.
Yes.
So yes, we sleep on that, I think, a lot of times right here in the Valley. So Gwendolyn has a question. She says, how about a, you know what, I ain't studying you. I'm laughing because this is a conversation we've had all the time. How about a retiree with financial resources to invest and looking to start up or invest in a needed business type? Camping on my question. Okay, that's not what I thought you were asking. So you're off the hook. But okay, that's a good one. Yeah, what about that?
Yeah, that's good. You know, I think that's great. Our business advisor, Brett, he actually helps companies who want to sell their business. There are some who are looking to transition. They need to have their business evaluated. They need to know the valuation and connect with buyers. We also connect folks with investors. So we had a program on angel investors just before the program with subsidies. So these are hot topics. We serve. I know, how timely, right?
I need an angel.
We survey our enrollees, our business clients, and we ask them, you know, what are you interested in? And these are topics that are coming out of this. So we just did a piece on angel investors. So there are a couple of things. One is there's a group called Tech Coast Angels. And so these angels invest in local businesses. There's also Pasadena Angels, another group. Now, sometimes these folks are investing big bucks, you know, not like the smaller size investments. So the smaller size investments could be probably handled through like Brett could help broker and introduce people to each other and to companies, you know, that are looking for investing. But there are angel investor circles like those that we work with and connect with. Now, our seminar that we just did on angel investing was on pitch decks. So that was to help companies understand how to pitch themselves, because you kind of have to, you know, be able to understand the language of investors. So that was more from the business owner side and how to pitch your company. But I think that the group that we worked with, it's called Scroobius, Scroobios, Scroobius, work with. We would tap into their network of investors, because since they've been helping companies create pitch decks for many years, they have a whole network of investors and can help kind of make the connection. So there are lots of different ways to go about it.
Wow. So Nisi's interested in hearing about businesses for sale.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. You know, through the pandemic, I think a lot of people started to reevaluate if they wanted to continue and rebuild, or if they wanted to just transition out. And so that is like an area of our business assistance program that kind of saw a bit of an uptick, actually. And so there's a certain like procedure that Brett can kind of walk people through about their evaluation and kind of determining that. And then some particular like business brokers. There are business brokers who really specialize in brokering a deal for buying and selling businesses. So that's also a really good way to go. And then I have a link here about the angel investing webinar with the replay here in case anybody's interested in that too.
Yeah, Gwendolyn is definitely interested in that, and I am too.
Oh, okay. Okay, awesome.
I want to meet some angels.
I know, right? I know.
She said a small business, of course. She's looking for a small business that might be for sale.
Nice.
And Nisi, if you want to talk to me, I have a small business that needs an angel investor.
There we go. See, it all works. It all works together. Well, two businesses that I know of right now that are for sale is one is a jukebox company. So it's a company that's been around for I think 50 years. And they really kind of came to their claim to fame as the entertainment industry looking for props. They always need these jukeboxes for props, but they also do private residence and residences. And looking to sell that company, and he's asked for our help doing that. And then there's another a hair salon, an interesting hair salon just learned about, is interested in selling. So if those are two industries you're interested in, definitely hit me up and we can connect you.
Yeah. Well, Nisi, I'm going to put her info in the chat in a bit. So be prepared to snatch that up. She said she'll be calling you looking for opportunities outside of my day job. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I love that. And Nisi, Camellia said, call her. She has a resource for that as well. Girls Like Me Global said, definitely going to need to bring Sonya back on for part 2. I think so.
Oh my goodness. How awesome. Anytime.
Absolutely. I knew this was going to be just a wealth of information. So Sonya, one of the angels that I'm actually working with now is NAAC. Is that right? Did I get that right? NAAC. So that I got that through one of your resources. Let me think of Richard.
Oh, Richard Palais. Rhymes with ballet. Ballet. Richard Palais. Oh, yes. NAAC. Yep.
Yes. So I'm working with them right now.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I feel like every day she calls me and asks me for something else. And I'm like, okay, girl, here you go. But they are what I love is they are persistent, because I got busy and didn't reach out, and she's like, hey, are you still interested? Do you still need money? And I'm like, oh yeah, let me get back on this, So I really appreciate that, because I'm sure some of you out there, if you're a small business owner, you can relate to sometimes it gets so busy that you can't even get the time to go and do all the things that you need to do and get all the resources together and all of the paperwork and all of that. So definitely I appreciate their persistence in trying to give away, y'all, they're trying to give away money. Okay. So that I think is pretty amazing. And yes, Sonya is one of our BWN members.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, Latasha. Latasha is a wonderful queen business owner in Georgia, and my dear sweet friend. So thanks for tuning in. Gwendolyn says, does your Brett get paid commission by one side or the other, or is he a neutral advisor?
Okay, Brett on our team. Brett is a contractor with us. He has his own company. And so we have a grant through the USSBA, and we pay him an hourly rate as a consultant to our company, and he doesn't get any commissions, and he doesn't get any, financial remuneration when he connects people with a lender, this, that, and the other kind of a thing. Now, I will tell you, just a full disclosure, that we do work with some of our partners we work with consider us a referral partner, and they will support the alliance financially. So, for example, Subsidy is in that category. Now, we are a client of Subsidy, and we believe in Subsidy, and at the same time, they believe in the alliance. And when we send them folks, then they will support the alliance financially. But Brett does not get paid a commission by anyone.
Okay.
Hopefully that's clear.
Thank you. So here is this is the angel investor link for the replay.
Yes.
So take a moment and copy and paste that so you can just easily click it, because to take a photograph of that, you're going to have fun typing all that in. So just go ahead and copy and paste that. Nisi says she'll reach out to me for your contact information. Absolutely. And Nisi, stick around. I'm going to put it in the chat here too. Well, Sonya, we are getting close to our time for tonight, but wow, you are really an amazing, amazing resource. I'm just going to put all this good stuff in the chat. So hold on.
Oh my
This,
goodness.
my friends, is how you reach Miss Sonya. Pamela says she has to run. This was so incredible. I'll visit the websites provided. Thanks, Sean LeRae and Miss Thatcher. Looking forward to part 2. So she thinks that you're Dr. Thiele too, because
I'll
so,
take it. Okay.
this is Sonya.
Oh
Pamela,
my
will
goodness.
definitely call me if you need any resources, if you miss these that I'm about to put up now on how to reach Sonya. So just give me a call, and we're overdue lunch anyway. So there we have it. Now, here is all these ways are ways that you can reach Sonya and the Alliance. So take a moment and get those down, y'all, because this is important stuff. I'm trying to see my face. So, oh, that's all right. She said, sorry about that, Miss Sonya.
Oh, no problem.
No worries at all. So get these down. And again, if you need anything if you don't get this, just call me and I will provide you with all the information. So Sonya, what is on the horizon for the Economic Alliance? Because I know you got the Valley Economic Alliance, because I know you guys are always doing amazing things. I remember that wonderful seminar, or I don't know, what would you call it, the day that you had the real estate event that was so amazing.
Oh, yeah. That was our regional summit at CSUN, and Mayor Bass came, and Supervisor Lindsay Horvath, and the CEO of LA Metro came to talk about what's happening with the transportation systems in our region and how that connects with economic development. And then the LA Convention and Visitors Bureau came to also talk about tourism to the Valley and how we tap into those dollars. So that's our regional summit in January. We're going to make that an annual event at CSUN. We have a business summit coming up in June, so we'll be sure to let you know, so you can let your network know when we set the date for that.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we have our 25th annual Valley of the Stars Gala. Super excited about our wonderful event. We have Palmira Perez Nigerian, who's going to be our MC. She's an award-winning journalist and image consultant. Mission Valley Bank is being honored for all their work, amazing work through the pandemic to help keep companies together and alive. Home Again LA, which is our humanitarian award, doing great work, creating housing. And then Lynette Romero, our media honoree, and Bill Allen, who was a wonderful leader at the Alliance, sitting in this very seat, but he used to run the LA Economic Development Corporation, doing this work countywide, and just retired from that. His dad, Steve Allen, was the entertainer and very committed to education, and we're so happy that his legacy is continuing on. So join us for that. That's April 13th at the Odyssey in Granada Hills, and
yum.
Tickets are available. Tickets
and
are
that's
on
the
sale.
website where you can go and get tickets at thevalley.net/gala 2023. And you know, I love a good gala, girl.
They are fun. They are fun. And we are a nonprofit organization. So for all this great work that we provide for free, I'm kind of running two businesses. One, I've got a business where I do for free all I can for our businesses and our job seekers. And then I have a business that I need to run and do fundraising. So we create wonderful strategic partnerships, referral relationships, and funding with corporate sponsors that help us keep all our programs free. So this is a part of that.
Wow. Well, Sonya, my darling, how do you find the time to do it all?
Oh my goodness. How do I? Do I find the time to do it all? Partnership, right?
Okay.
Right? Partnership. I gotta know, I'm the one that's like, I'm like the marionettes, you know, I'm the one that has to be the brain, like mapping out what do we need to do and how are we going to do it. And then I go around asking people for things. Can you do this? Can you do this? Why don't you handle this part? Let's pull this partner in there. Let's hire this person there. And then, you know, there's still much more to be done. You know, I think my vision and my ideas far outweigh the resources available to do everything. But, you shoot for the stars, you might miss, but you hit the moon. Is that how that goes?
That'll work. Something like that, I think. Anyway, you've landed well.
Thank you. I'm trying.
Yes. Well, and it's so true. When I said that, I thought of it in terms of the moon, but I realized that I always say that about you. I have said that. Gwen and I have said that. It was like, she always lands well. Like wherever you go, it's more fabulous than the place you were before. And that says a lot, my dear, about who you are. And I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I am amazed by you. I think you are so awesome. And I love that they have you at the helm of the Valley Economic Alliance, because you have the perfect heart and soul for it. Indeed, you do.
Thank you. That is such an encouragement. I mean, especially coming from a boss lady like you, I'm like so encouraged. Thank you for that.
You absolutely, and I'm glad. Girls Like Me Global said partnership. Yes, love, love, love. We are all better together. Absolutely, and that is so true. And I'm so glad that we're going to end on that, because another word for partnership is collaborate, and collaboration crushes competition. And that's what my coach, Shay Brown, has always drilled into my head. That is the principle upon which Black Women's Network was founded. And Marva Smith Battle Bay would just be so proud of what you are doing in the communities. It is amazing. And she had some big shoes to follow. So you are doing the work that she set out to do when she founded Black Women's Network, Sisters in Service to Enhance Resource Sharing. And you are doing that every day. Gwendolyn says, Sonya is a great mastermind and delegator of people with great skills for the work. Ditto, Sean LeRay's compliment of you. Absolutely.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. And I love being in your company, in the company with Marva Smith Battle Day. It's like we, all of us together. It's a beautiful tapestry. And so I'm happy. I'm honored to be a part of it. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Cheryl. I'm glad you made it, sis. Absolutely. Gwendolyn says, I get tired thinking about both of you and all the things you both do.
It's busy. It is busy.
It is busy. We're kindred. We're kindred spirits for sure. Absolutely. And Dr. Thiele says, wonderful info. Have a great evening. And you do the same, my sister. Well, Sonya, I always ask my Boss Talk guests to leave our people with one parting thought. What would it be coming from you, sis?
Oh my goodness, how beautiful. Oh my gosh. I guess it's that, find your inspiration inside and let it shine, because the rest kind of takes care of itself.
I love that. So someone told me, they reminded me that of those 3 C's again, and that is collaboration crushes competition. And when you let your light shine, you're not afraid to let anyone else's light shine around you, because of that idea of just allowing everyone's light to shine and to be able to see that. My mother said that we have to be aware that it takes more than one lamp to light a room. And so we have to keep that in mind. So anyone that that could benefit from what we talked about tonight, please share this link with them. Tell them that we do this every week on Wednesdays. And so tell them to come on and like, comment, subscribe, and share. Because at Boss Talk, we like to let people know what's going on in the world. And so tonight you have definitely covered what is going on in the business world. So please, with all of the resources that were shared here tonight, I don't know if you can save this chat, but if you can, do that. But definitely take a moment and copy and paste these, and you can find these links wherever you are watching from. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube or LinkedIn, you can go back and grab these resources and watch this show again. And definitely share it out. And I'm going to put that last quote that you said in the chat. Here we go. I love that. I love that. I love it. I love
Awesome. I can use some of that light here tonight, huh?
it.
It's a little dark in here.
Oh, Gwendolyn put it there too. I love it. Here we go.
Beautiful.
My amazing producer put this out for us here in the back. She said, find your inspiration inside and let it shine, because the rest will take care of itself. When we let our light shine, we welcome others to do the same. May we all shine brightly together. Boss Talkers. Absolutely. They're just really, let's see, what did she say? I can't see the chat in FB. Are they and you in YouTube? Yes, we are on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So you can find us in any of those places, and you must subscribe. You're on Facebook, so I think if you click on comments, you'll see everything kind of pop up, and definitely they will pop up once we sign off. So, Boss Talkers, thank you for showing up and showing out. It's your girl Sean LeRae saying good night and thanking you once again. You could have been anywhere on this fine Wednesday night, but you chose to spend it with us, and we are forever grateful. So we will see you next Wednesday and every Wednesday after that, Lord willing, and that creek don't rise, right here on Boss Talk at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And Boss Talk, that's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars, and that's you. Thank y'all so much, and shalom, y'all. Live love.